In this episode, I'm going to be talking about things to avoid to successfully trade the TTM squeeze. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another training video. All right, so we're talking about the TTM squeeze, and I'm going to talk about things to avoid to be profitable. We're going to talk about things that are killing your momentum. All right, so my goal for today's training is to help two types of traders. For those of you who are trading the squeeze and you are beginning traders, or you're trading the squeeze and you're having a very hard time getting faked out, then I hope today I give you some great information and some steps that you can implement immediately to make sure you improve your TTM squeeze trading results. Now, for those of you who are more experienced trading the squeeze, here's my goal for you, to give you some refresher information, but more importantly, my hopes is that you pick up some nuggets today that can help you right away get better trading the squeeze. But more importantly, right, if you are wondering that why is there so many times where you get into the squeeze and it fires in your direction and then quickly reverses, if that's a problem, my goal today is to share with you some information to bring light to that subject so you can immediately improve your TTM squeeze results. Right? When it comes to the squeeze, so just kind of a really quick overview. This is the TTM Squeeze Pro. This is a paid indicator through Simpler Trading, but you can get the regular TTM Squeeze free. It's on TTM Ameritrade as well as TradingView, but this is the Squeeze Pro. So I'm going to be talking about the Squeeze Pro because that's the one I have. Now, what you're going to notice is you're going to have several dots. I'm not going to go into explanation about the dots. Just know when it's not green, it's in a squeeze. So for example, we got black, we got red, you're even going to have a dot orange. Now, what is that? That represents momentum is stalling, it's accumulating, it's building up energy before its next big move. So it's that moment in time that gives us an advantage where we know the stock is setting up for its next big move. But here's my question. Have you ever gotten to a squeeze, for example, right here, that has fired in your direction and then stalled out? Has that ever happened to you? So you got into this squeeze, it took off, but then there was no momentum. It just died out of nowhere. And you're wondering, why did that happen? Well, I'm going to talk about a couple reasons why that happened. Now, let's go here. This is NEO. So we're going back in time just a little bit. But I want to alert your attention to these dots right here. So NEO went into a squeeze. Right there, went to a low compression, mid compression, and you know it fired to that upside. So you're in the trade, you're like, oh, this is great. But then NEO reversed. Why did that happen? Okay, so one reason why there's a high probability that it happens is you're not understanding what's going on in the higher time frame. So the way I like to do all this is I use an indicator with the squeeze. I will never trade the TTM squeeze without this indicator. This is the Forecast Pro. Now, there's an indicator called the Market Forecast on TTM Ameritrade. That's free. It's the Market Forecast. You can come up here. You can go to Studies, just to show you. And you can go to Edit, and you can search Market Forecast. It is right there. Now, I've been studying this indicator for 15 plus years. So I know all the trading signals and all the in and outs. So what I had was I had built an indicator that actually plots the signals that the market forecast gives. I call it the Forecast Pro. Kind of like the TTM Squeeze Pro, the Forecast Pro. So here's one of the reasons why the momentum can just get destroyed. Is when you're in a squeeze and it fires, what you should be doing before is you should be going to every chart and you should start off the month. Now we're going back in time, but you can see it's been bearish. So what in this particular case, you want to know based on this green line. Okay, you can see it's bearish strong. Now it's bearish strong, but you want to know what's going on at that time. So you want to make sure this green line is bearish. That shows me that on the month, the sellers are in control. Then what you want to do is, and again, I have this sticker, it automatically plots that sticker, so it's an easy way for me to see. Then I'm going to go to the week. And in this particular case, I want to know what's going on with the weekly traders. The weekly traders. So if you can see, the weekly traders were also bearish strong. So this is kind of letting you know what's going on underneath the hood. So we know the month and the week sellers are in total control. So now let's go back to the day. All right, so now we're going back to the daily time frame. And we're looking at that squeeze we just got done looking at, right? Got in that squeeze. It fired to the upside. So anybody who entered that squeeze, they're like, all right, this is great. It's going to reverse. Not so fast. If you notice, that momentum died. And why did it die? Well, the reason, the higher probability that it died was because the month and the week, based on that indicator, sellers were in control. So we're talking about things that are slowing the TTM squeeze momentum. They're ruining the profitability. It's because when that squeeze fires and momentum starts to run, the higher time frames will kick in. And if you're not paying attention to what's happening, who's in control, that's a huge reason why that momentum can stall. So let me tell you another reason why the momentum can run out. All right, so now we're taking a look at OKE, one OK. So let's take a look here. I want you to alert your attention to this beautiful squeeze. We went from green to black to red to orange. Perfect, right? Right in this time period. And if you notice, the squeeze fired to the upside. Okay, so we're talking about what ruins your momentum. Going back to what we were talking about. So you're in this squeeze, positioning yourself for the explosion. Now, it did fire, and you're like, yes, this is great. But what I want you to alert your attention to is back what we talked about a minute ago. The neutral permission. The neutral permission. So that told me at the time that squeeze was firing, the higher time frames were not in agreement. The monthly traders and the weekly traders, sellers and buyers, hadn't decided. So when that's the case, the momentum has a harder time of following through. Look what happened. It cratered all the way down. So the squeeze fired and then it quickly reversed all the way back down. And the reason why the higher probability that happened is up here, we had neutral permission on the higher time frame when that squeeze fired. So here's the deal, my friends. When you see a nice, beautiful squeeze, you got to look beyond just the stacked moving averages, right? And in the buy zone, we're talking about why does the squeeze, when it fires in your direction, why does it quickly reverse and go the other way? It's because 9 times out of 10, you're not paying attention to the higher time frame. And if you are, I don't even know what indicator you're using. Again, I use this Forecast Pro. I teach this indicator, and it lets me know who's in control on what time frames, and that gives me an advantage of when that squeeze fires, the likelihood of it continuing has the high probability. Okay, that's how you can become more profitable trading the TTM squeeze, looking at those higher time frames and utilizing the Forecast Pro. Does that make sense? All right, so now we're going to look at another one. It's another variation. I'm trying to give you guys as many examples as possible. So we're going to look at PSX. PSX. I want you to alert your attention to that beautiful squeeze going on, right? Volatility is contracting, building up energy. Now, here, check this out. Look at this. The squeeze fired to the downside. The squeeze fired to the downside. The moving averages were starting to be stacked. So what is everybody doing? Everybody's going short, right? Downtrending stock, moving averages, the squeeze fired. But if I want you to see something, the squeeze fired and bam, it quickly reversed. You ever got faked out trading the squeeze? Look at this, guys. Bullish permission. We've been talking about this. That means that on the month, the buyers were in control. On the week, the buyers were in control based on the indicator, this Forecast Pro. And if you want to take it a step further, on the day, we were also bullish strong. So here's the deal. We're talking about what ruins the momentum of the squeeze. Well, the squeeze fired and the momentum didn't continue and it reversed because all of the higher time frames, the buyers were in control. And going into that squeeze, knowing that information, that can give you an advantage because this squeeze has a higher probability of stalling when it fires, faking you out, leaving you not profitable. So if you want to be profitable trading the squeeze, the next time you're in the squeeze, understand what's going on in the month, the week, and the day. That information can give you the advantage of letting you know that when that squeeze fires, what are the likelihoods of the momentum either stalling or running wild? So now that I've shown you how in a lot of cases, when that TTM squeeze fires in your direction and you're expecting that momentum to follow through, but it seems like in an instant, it reverses and goes the other way. Now that you understand with a high probability of why that can happen, isn't that awesome? Hey, so let me ask you a question. If you implement the steps that I showed you in today's video, you utilize either the market forecast or the market forecast pro to let you know what is happening on the higher time frames to give you that advantage of if that squeeze fires, what is the likelihood that the momentum's actually going to follow through when that happens? Do you think you can be profitable trading the TTM squeeze? If the answer to that question is yes, then number one, you need to make sure you have either the market forecast, which is free on TD Ameritrade, or the market forecast pro to give you that advantage. And again, right now, anybody who gets my options elite masterclass, I'm going to give you that indicator completely for free. All right, everybody. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I promise you, if you implement the ideas that I share with you today in this video lesson, it's going to make all the difference for you trading the TTM squeeze. Now, listen, hey guys, if you are interested in that Forecast Pro, the indicator that I use with the squeeze, I'm giving it away completely for free this month. Anybody who gets my Options Elite Masterclass, I'm going to give you that indicator completely for free. Also this month, if you get my Options Elite, I'm going to give you my bonus TTM Squeeze course. All right, so if you are interested in those two, information to that is down below. And as always, guys, if you are a beginning option trader, just getting your feet wet, make sure you check out my Options 101 course as well. I'm giving that